All right. Yo, yo. I'm back. A little bit of a break. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the stream. All right. Let's learn. Okay. Let's get to it. All right. Oh God. All right. Let's get back into calculus here.
Let's see if we can find the limit as theta approaches 0 of 1 minus cosine theta over 2 sine squared theta. And like always, pause the video and see if you can work through this. All right, well, our first temptation is to say, well, this is going to be the same thing as the limit of 1 minus cosine theta as x approaches, or not x, as theta approaches 0, of theta as theta approaches 0, over the limit as theta approaches 0 of 2 sine squared theta. Now, both of these expressions, which could be used to define a function, they'd be continuous if you graph them. They'd be continuous at theta equals 0. So the limit is going to be the same thing as just evaluating them at theta equals 0. So this is going to be equal to 1 minus cosine of 0 over 2 sine squared of 0. Now, cosine of 0 is 1, and then 1 minus 1 is 0. And sine of 0 is 0, and you square it, you still got 0, and you multiply it times 2, you still got 0. So you got 0 over 0. So once again, we have that indeterminate form. And once again, this indeterminate form, when you have 0 over 0, doesn't mean to give up. It doesn't mean that the limit doesn't exist. It just means, well, maybe there's some other approaches here to work on. If you got some non-zero number divided by 0, then you say, okay, that limit doesn't exist. And you'd say, well, you just say it doesn't exist. But let's see what we can do to maybe think about this expression in a different way. So if we said, so let's just say that this, let me use some other colors here. Let's say that this right over here is f of x. So f of x is equal to 1 minus cosine theta over 2 sine squared theta. And let's see if we can rewrite it in some way that at least the limit as theta approaches 0 isn't going to, we're not going to get the same 0 over 0. Well, we got some trig functions here, so maybe we can use some of our trig identities to simplify this. And the one that jumps out at me is that we have the sine squared of theta. And we know from the Pythagorean identity in trigonometry, it comes straight out of the unit circle definition of sine and cosine. We know that sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta is equal to 1. Or we know that sine squared theta is 1 minus cosine squared theta. 1 minus cosine squared theta. So we could rewrite this. This is equal to 1 minus cosine theta over 2 times 1 minus cosine squared theta. Now, this is a 1 minus cosine theta. This is a 1 minus cosine squared theta.
Or there says, are you still working on spectrosim, or is it finished?
Until you realize that this could be viewed as a difference of squares.
Hey, dude, how's it going?
If you view this as a squared minus b squared, we know that this can be factored as a plus b times a minus b. So
Not gonna lie, you guys. I might need to start back at the beginning of this lesson. I remember the factoring one. No, I think we're okay.
So I could rewrite this.
So he's just using right trig identities to factor these like we were before, to identify when you have this indeterminate state, to find an evaluation of f of x that is true for one of these limits, right?
This
Without
is
actually
1
like
minus
graphing.
cosine theta over 2 times, I could write this as 1 plus cosine theta times 1 minus cosine theta. 1 plus cosine theta times 1 minus cosine theta. And now this is interesting. I have a 1 minus cosine theta in the numerator, and I have a 1 minus cosine theta in the denominator. Now we might be tempted to say, oh, well, let's just cross that out with that, and we would simplify it and get f of x is equal to 1 over, and we could distribute this 2 now. We could say 2 plus 2 cosine theta. We could say, well, aren't these the same thing? And we would be almost right, because f of x, this one right over here, this is defined, this one right over here is defined when theta is equal to 0, while this one is not defined when theta is equal to 0. When theta is equal to 0, you have a 0 in the denominator. And so what we need to do in order for this f of x, or in order to be for this to be the same thing, we have to say theta cannot be equal to 0. But now let's think about the limit again. Essentially what we want to do is we want to find the limit as theta approaches 0 of f of x. And we can't just do direct substitution into, if we really take this seriously, because we're going to like, oh, well, if I try to put 0 here, it says theta cannot be equal to 0. F of x is not defined at 0. This expression is defined at 0, but this tells me, well, I really shouldn't apply 0 to this function. But we know that if we can find another function that is defined, that is the exact same thing as f of x, except at 0, and it is continuous at 0, and so we could say g of x is equal to 1 over 2 plus 2 cosine theta. Well, then we know this limit is going to be the exact same thing as the limit of g of x as theta approaches 0. Once again, these two functions are identical, except f of x is not defined at theta equals 0, while g of x is. But the limits as theta approaches 0 are going to be the same. And we've seen that in previous videos. And I know what a lot of you are thinking, Sal, this seems like a very, why don't I just, do this algebra here, cross these things out, and then just substitute 0 for theta? Well, you could do that, and you would get the answer, but you need to be clear, or it's important to be mathematically clear of what you are doing. If you do that, if you just cross these two out, and all of a sudden your expression becomes defined at 0, you are now dealing with a different expression or a different function definition. So to be clear, if you want to say this is the function you're finding the limit of, you have to put this constraint in to make sure it has the exact same domain. But lucky for us, we can say if we found another function that's continuous at that point, that doesn't have that gap there, that doesn't have that point discontinuity out, the limits are going to be equivalent. So the limit as theta approaches 0 of g of x, well, that's just going to be, since it's continuous at 0, we could say that's just going to be, we can just substitute. That's going to be equal to g of 0, which is equal to 1 over 2 plus cosine 2, 1 over 2 plus 2 times cosine of 0. Cosine of 0 is 1, so it's just 1 over 2 plus 2, which is equal to, we deserve a little bit of a drum roll here, which is equal to 1/4. And we are done.
Okay.
All right, let's see if we can find the limit of 1 over square root of 2 sine of theta over cosine of 2 theta as theta approaches negative pi over 4. And like always, try to give it a shot before we go through it together. Well, one take on it is, well, let's just say that this is going to be the same thing as the limit as theta approaches negative pi over 4 of 1 plus square root of 2 sine theta over the limit as theta approaches negative pi over 4. Make sure we can see that negative there, of cosine of 2 theta. Okay. And both of these expressions are, if these were function definitions, or if we were to graph y equals 1 plus square root of 2 times sine theta, or y equals cosine of 2 theta, we would get continuous functions, especially at theta is equal to negative pi over 4. So we could just substitute in. We say, well, this is going to be equal to this expression evaluated at negative pi over 4. So 1 plus square root of 2 times sine of negative pi over 4 over cosine of 2 times negative pi over 4. Now, negative pi over 4, sine of negative pi over 4 is going to be negative square root of 2 over 2. So this is negative square root of 2 over 2. We're assuming this is in radians. If we're thinking in degrees, this would be a negative 45-degree angle. So this is one of the trig values that it's good to know. And so if you have 1, so let's see. Well, actually, let me just rewrite it. So this is going to be equal to 1 plus square root of 2 times that is going to be negative 2 over 2. So this is going to be minus 1. That's the numerator over here. All of this stuff simplifies to negative 1 over This is going to be cosine of negative pi over 2, right? This is negative pi over 2. Cosine of negative pi over 2, if you thought in degrees, that's going to be negative 90 degrees. Cosine of that is just going to be 0. So what we end up with is equal to 0 over 0. And as we've talked about before, if we had something non-zero divided by 0, we'd say, okay, that's undefined, we might as well give up. But when we have this indeterminate form, it does not mean that the limit does not exist. It's usually true that we should use some tools in our toolkit, one of which is to do some manipulation here to get an expression that maybe is defined at theta is equal to, or is not an indeterminate form at theta is equal to negative pi over 4, and we'll see other tools in our toolkit in the future. So let me algebraically manipulate this.
How you doing, Tim?
So if I have 1 plus the square root of 2 sine theta over cosine 2 theta. As you can imagine, the things that might be useful here are our trig identities. And in particular, cosine of 2 theta seems interesting. Let me write some trig identities involving cosine of 2 theta. I'll write it over here. So we know that cosine of 2 theta is equal to cosine squared of theta minus sine squared of theta, which is equal to 1 minus 2 sine squared of theta.
And he's busting out these trig identities like crazy.
2 cosine squared theta minus 1. And you can go...
Man, I'm going to need to refresh some trig identities for sure.
The same,
Tim says it's so cool you took the dog to Vegas.
Is having the same domain. So this one right over here, this one we already saw is not defined at theta. Well, let's just say everything we're doing is in the open interval. Actually, let's think about except at...
Man, calculus is... I should not have taken a break. I should have kept going daily. The previous lessons are fading. I think I'm okay. I might need to start this one over off stream. Right, I just might need to start lesson 7 over. I think I'm okay on the previous ones. But this is where it kind of gets a little bit tricky here. So, interesting. Welcome back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the stream. Hope you're having a wonderful day so far.
Tim says we need to make a Duolingo app for math. I think I might be onto something here.
Yeah, for real. Right. Well, I am ready to learn here. Let's go bust out a LeetCode. Which one should we do today, boys? The dailies are hard. Oh, come on. Give me an easy random one. Subscribe to unlock. Okay. You are given a non-negative integer array of numbers. In one operation, you must choose a
Ororazir says the hardest one they have.
That's the daily? The hardest one they have? Jeez. Okay, you are given a non-negative integer array of nums. In one operation, you must choose a positive integer x such that x is less than or equal to the smallest... Whoa. Okay, choose a positive integer x. We have to choose a positive integer such that x is less than or equal to the smallest non-zero element in nums. Subtract x from every positive element in nums. Return the minimum number of operations to make every element in nums equal to 0. Okay. So the smallest minimum number is 1 here. You subtract that out, makes that 0. That makes this 2. So the next, that becomes 2. And then you subtract that out. Now this becomes 3. No. Subtract 2 out from everything. So now this becomes 2. And everything becomes 0. Interesting. Okay. So I wonder. Interesting. So if you go through the array once and look at it, like as long as we maintain memory somehow of what was in the array in a certain order, right? We can do this pretty simply. because you would just have to 3 total operations. So what if you sum like numbers and subtract different numbers? Like 10 less 3 is 7, less 3 is, or less 1 is 6. No. Okay. So, interesting. So, is our goal here, um, it's interesting because I don't want to really loop over the array multiple times, right? And then,
Tim says, did you ever solve the hard one from last stream? That one was insane.
no, I didn't, dude. I did not. I think that's why I had to take the 2-day break, I think. It burnt me out. Okay, so I don't want to have to go over the array multiple times. I want to just, can I just do this in a single pass, in just one O of n pass, where if I sum up the entire array, so that's 10, 13, 14, and there's 5 total positions in this array. So 14 floored by 5. Well, you can't floor it, you have to ceiling it. So if you do 14 divided by 5, it gives you about, 2 point something. If you ceiling that, then that gives you the number you're looking for. So can we just sum this array divided by length, not integer division, but ceiling? I am curious. So let's just take this. Let's divide this by the length of numbers. And then let's save this as a val. Right? And then let's go ahead and say that how can I detect if this value is a decimal? I could try to cast this value, or I could call like a try. I mean, this is kind of getting at, LeetCodes don't typically use these tries. Like I could try to cast the value as an int, right? Except for a value error. I'll catch the value error because I can't cast a decimal into an integer. And then I'll say I want to catch it, and how do I want to
Marty
handle
says,
it?
sup, Mike.
Hey, Marty! Appreciate you for coming in, man. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back. Right? So if I get the value error, I'm going to say I don't know, is there a better way of math.ceiling? I have to import the math module. I don't really want to do that, but I want to see if this would work. So let's just go return. If this gives you 0, so actually we'll go n here. We'll say n is equal to the length of nums. we'll say if n, right, return math.ceiling of value, and then else return 0. I'm curious. Oh my gosh, am I crazy? Oh, dang. So the length is 1, return. If n greater than 1, if n, so I'll say if equals to 1, if n return none. Ah. Yeah, I think we figured out a little trick here. I think if we ceiling the value of the sum of the length divided by the sum of the numbers divided by the length, we get it's this kind of little trick, I think. So I just have some edge cases. If n is equal to 1, return 1 if num index 0 is greater than 1, else 0. If n is greater than 1, return math.ceiling value, else return none. Okay. No. Oh, it's not greater than 1. It's if it is 1, we want to return 1. These test cases. We'll see here. Oh, dang it. Okay, so this one's summed 8, 10, 11 divided by 4. Maybe this doesn't work. I mean, you're past 11 test cases, though. Okay, so maybe if the length is even, that's a specific thing. So we have... So if I take... This is 8, 10, 11 divided by 4. Let me pull out the old calculator. 2.75, it just rounds up. Okay, maybe this trick doesn't work. It really passed, though, 10 cases? That's kind of a lot. Maybe there is some validity to this trick. What do you guys think? You sum it. Now maybe if there's a 0 in there, no, if there's no 0. Okay. So maybe it doesn't. I don't want to have to loop through this. You know, I think there's got to be some mathematical trick. So this is 10, 8, 10, 11. Divided by 4 gives me 2.75. For real, Marty. Yeah, right? Yeah. Should return one operation. So if you sum, okay, interesting. I'm just trying to figure out a way. I have to jump. I just did a random shuffle. Trying to figure out a way if there's like a math trick that we can use on the array to identify these operations. Now my first idea was, what if we sum the array and divide by its length? That actually worked for quite a few answers here, up to like 11. But okay, so if you sum the array and it has all the same number in it, well then my operation is toast. Right? So if it's 100, 100, 100, 100, it would be one operation of reducing the entire array by 100 to get all the numbers down to 0. So do we need to have a check here and say, like, if all, right, equal to num index 0, then return 1 as well? That's kind of interesting, but it's crazy that this does work, though, for quite a few cases. Not too good, Marty. We took too long of a break from Calc 1. We took like a week and a half break, and let me tell you, the stuff goes out quick. Goes in slow and then comes out fast. So, man, let me tell you, if I'm not studying it every single day, it's hard to keep it up and remember it all. So I've got to do some studying, I think, outside of stream, get caught back up where I was. Okay. So what if we need to... Okay, so then if we just have to identify the minimum at each pass, which kind of sucks. But if you know where the next minimum is via like a sorted... Ah, I know what to do. So we need to map indexes of the sorted amounts and then reduce by those values. So the thing is, though, is if you sum, it's interesting, though, because I thought there's got to be some kind of trick, though, with summing, because... Right, on this one I failed. Here. 8, 10, 11. Okay? This would reduce everything by 1, making this 1. So let's add another 1 here. Like, let's add a 0. Let's say this length of this array now becomes 5. Right, that would reduce it down even further. But you would still have the output of expected of 4 because the 0 wouldn't affect the output at all. Okay. So having the length, I think, in the denominator is bad. Right, because if zeros are present in the array, that's going to affect I think we need to sum the array on each pass, maybe. Okay, so what happens if we do this? We sum the array here, we get 11. We reduce by the smallest amount to give us 10. We reduce by the smallest amount to give us 10. Interesting, because there's got to be a way to incorporate summing of the array on either looping passes or just maybe all at once up front. Hey BizWine, how's it going? No, we're not doing the today's hard. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, C9C. I don't think getting the average of the array is very helpful here because the zeros actually are... because that's essentially what we're doing here. Exactly. So then let's say if you sum the array, we get 11, right? The array isn't sorted. So if you sum the array, we get 11. Let's say you reduce it by the largest amounts first, though. That takes it down. Down to 6, which is the sum of the rest of the array. So the length is only possible values are 0 through 9. There's got to be a way we can predict. Right, if the values... this is 11. You reduce by the... so obviously, I know how to... it's not that hard to do with just looping, but I'm trying to figure out a way of not doing it in O of like whatever O of m times n, right? Because where m is the amount of operations and n being the length of the array. I'm trying to see if there's a way we can just do it in just the O of n via an initial sum of values. So in this case, it says a length of 5, but 1 is a 0, so we don't want to count it. So let's say it's actually a 4, a true length of, let's say a fake length of 4. Right, let's say like constraints is 100, not 0 through 9. Oh, that's for length. And the index value. Okay, so it can be 0 through 100. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so then maybe if that's the case, it's not as predicted. So then let's just... well, I mean, on each pass, you can predict, you can get the new minimum, right? So, I mean, we're going to have to do like the O of m times n approach, where m is the amount of operations. So, but the thing is can we not... maybe we can also restructure the array to eliminate all the zeros already on each pass, so we don't have to do as many loops. Or as many, you know... is that also a possibility? Like, what if we restructure the array on each pass to where we don't include zeros? I don't want to pop zeros, though, because then I have to shift. Okay, let's just go through it then. Let's just keep the array as is. So let's just say, while sum of the nums is greater than 0, we're going to keep looping. We'll be detecting this is going to be a new min, or we'll say minimum equals to no front here. Right, we want to say while the sum of the numbers is greater than 0, let's go ahead and no, I need to index into this array. So maybe not this type of loop approach. Let's just go for I in range. But we need to do that. We need to loop over and over again. Can we reset I back to 0 in the for loop? Locally? Like we can in the while loop? So we'll take the length on each pass. Okay, so let's see here. For I in the range length of numbers, we're going to if nums index of I is less than the minimum, we're going to set as such minimum is going to be equal to nums index of I, right? If so we take a minimum. So if we, it's interesting. So if we are yeah, obviously, I mean, we can sort it. Do we want to sort it? Is there a way we can do it without sorting? If we sort, we can. If we sort inversely, we can pop items off and then make it even faster on loops, right? So let's just, I mean, we could do that. So let's just go like this. Nums, let's say nums equals to sorted nums reverse equals to true, and then let's say while the sum of nums, I mean, this is gonna sum nums every loop though, so maybe we don't have to do that. Let's say this. Well, let's just say this is like a temp is equal to 0 at the start. Let's say, I had to sub at first. Because you have to detect, well, the smallest value is actually going to be the one up front and the back, right? So we can actually just start taking off values right off the jump. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's say, let's say while true, let's say while true, let me mute this thing. Yeah, I don't really need help. Okay, while true. Okay, so no, I don't really read hits. We're going to loop while true. Let's say minimum is equal to the nums. We're going to pop off the last number. Okay, and we're going to say, just if we pop up the last value, that reduces it to 0. And then we would have to reduce, So maybe we should actually just go like this. So say, so if we sort and we pop off the last value, maybe we don't want to pop, we just want to gain reference of the last value. And then just go through once after the sort call, and then we have O of n log n, right? So if we go through once from the back, then we can, no, let's just go in from the front. Let's just say we'll go min index is going to equal to 0 at the start. Let's just say n is equal to the length of nums. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I got rid of something too fast. Hold on, go back. There we go. We're going to keep this as normal. Let's say, what would I call it before? Sorry, lost my train of thought. Sorted nums. We want to say that the new min is equal to nums index 0 if new min. Right, well, if it calls sorted on empty array, it'll do nothing, right? So we want to actually do this on nums. So if nums, I guess, true, which is the same, I guess, as new min. So if nums, then let's go ahead and say n is equal all over the place. As you can see, I haven't streamed in 2 days. I'm a little rusty. Length of nums. And then let's go, if nums, let's go ahead and say for I in the range of n, we have the new, this is the current min. I'm going to say cur min is equal to the first one. We're going to say, but I need to do this as many loops like with an outer while loop, right? Like for while true, we'll go into this loop and do a for loop to say for I in the range of n. So that would cut off. No, we can do an O of n really easily, actually. So we can say for I in the range of n, we can get access to the first one, and then after we pass over it, we can reset to the current min to the next value and subtract from then, and then we can keep track of operations. So ops is equal to 0 here. Let's just try that. So if I go nums index I is going to be less than equal to the current min, right? And then we're going to set nums. We're first actually going to remove this out of here, put this here, set it initially to the current minimum, take it out, pass over, set it to current minimum, take it out, pass over, set it to current minimum. So then, and then this will be, but it will go over the zeros and do this. So is there a way we can get rid of the zeros at the start? So if it's 0, we don't want to do it. We're just going to pass. I don't know. Let's just try it first. Let's get a working thing, and then we can optimize. Okay, so we get the current minimum. So we're going to get, and so let's say we have a sorted array here. Let me pull out the whiteboard. Oop, not y'all. No, I don't need you yet. Let's pull out the whiteboard here. So let's say we have a sorted array of 1, 2, 3, 4, right? I'm going to go through the array. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to go through, boom, all right, boom. My current minimum is 1, which is this value because it's sorted. I'm going to subtract it from here. This is going to become 0. I'm going to move forward. My new current minimum is 2. I'm going to take it from here. I'm going to subtract it. 0. But even interesting, if it's sorted, then is it just the length of the array? Because, no, it's taking out from everything. Ah, that's why. Okay, that's right, I keep forgetting. So we have, if we go 0, 1, 2, let's just keep it easy. Let's take this example, right? So our current minimum is actually 0, so it takes out 0 from everything. So we actually don't really want to keep these zeros because it does a loop through that's not really necessary. So the sorted will keep those zeros on there. So if I go, so in this example, it's going to pick up the 0, push it all the way through, and then get the 1, go all the way through, then get the 2, and then we're at 0 and we're done. So let's maybe try it with a different, let's say we have 1, 3, 5. This is our array. Well, we get 1, we take out, the 1 kicks off this number, now we have 0. This becomes 2, this becomes 4, right? We pick up 2, maybe we use a 2-pointer approach then, right? If we have 1, 3, and 5, and our left pointer is here and our right pointer is here, well, we know we have to take 1 out from this guy. So we take 1 out, this becomes 0 on left pointer, right? Left pointer, this updates to 2. Left pointer becomes here, right pointer shifts to 5. And then you're taking out left and right pointer as you go, zeroing out numbers, counting operations. I think we could try that. So we have the length of numbers sorted. So we say for I in the range of n, we have, we want to say n less than 1, because we're going to have a right pointer that's going to lead. So j is equal to n or I plus 1 on each pass. Okay, we're going to set the I is equal n, so we'll say nums at index of I, current min is equal to this value here. We're going to interesting though, but can we actually know, because we need to reduce values all the way forward. So can we instead go 1, 3, and 5? Can we sum as we go? Okay, there's a 1, there's a 4. Okay, so we sum to 4. Well, this actually doesn't work. You can't reduce all these to 0 in this case. So we need an array that does work. Let's just use this, the example we were given of 0, 1, 3, 5, and 5. Let's get on top of the chats here. Okay, so we have the array sorted here, and we're gonna, can we sum as we go? So, well, we have to first detect positive numbers. So positive numbers are not 0, right? So this one's not going to be, this is not positive. So this does not count. We're not going to track this one. So we're going to, maybe we create an array value for value in nums.sorted if num is greater than 0, like a list comprehension on our sorted array. I don't know, that might take up more time though. So this is not positive. So then let's say we pick up the 1, right? We have a running total, a running here, 1. Okay, we move to here. Running total becomes 4. Running total becomes 9. Well, here we're just summing the array. Okay, so I mean that's not what we want to do here. We don't want to try and get no. Oh, 14. I guess it's the sum of the array at each point. Is it not just the length of the array? No, it's not, because this would take 1 down. This has 3 operations and this has a length of 4. Because it's dependent, it does value on these numbers. Interesting, because I don't want minimum operations as we go through the array. But I don't want to loop over it more than once. Is there a way I can just figure it out just by scanning the array initially once while it's sorted? Well, I take the 1. I mean, it's not, is that n o log n or o n log n log n? When if you do sort on top of a nested for loop where you move I forward and j scans up. No, I think it'd be n squared. Yeah, it'd be n squared log n, and that's terrible. No, so interesting. Interesante. So if we sort the array here, and we are trying to oh, Oklahoma City took another win here. Of the most boring NBA finals of all time. Is anybody watching this game, these finals? Besides Tim? Okay, interesting. Less than or equal to the smallest non-zero n. Choose a positive integer such that x is less than or equal to the smallest non-zero in the element. So you can choose a value that's less than. Oh god. So you could take like a 2. Okay, so it even though one of the hints it does tell you though to kind of bypass that statement. Okay. So if I say, what if you positive, pass through the array, summing as we go, detecting a false length. So what if we detect a false length? And then we say total is equal to 0. By the num. So we get a false length, which would be 4 in that case. 14. 3.54. Now you return I don't think so. I don't think that would work because 10 or 8, 10, 11, 4, it would floor down to 2. Let's say I had a 1 in there as well to make it a 5 length and at 12. That would take me to 2 still. No, I don't think that would work either. We don't want, shoot. So in this example, you picked up the 1 and you removed it all. But is there a way that we can do this without looping over mn times, right? This wouldn't work, right? So, interesting. 6 equals 1 now. Nums. In the second operation, choose x equals 2. You got an idea, John? Let's hear it, Mr. John. Throw it our way, Mr. Yon. Thanks for coming in again, dude. It's good to hear from you again. What you been doing? Okay. So if we have a sorted array of 1, 3, 5, 5. We take the first value 1. We would reduce it by the whole thing, but I don't want to do that. It's all right, John. We're spitballing here. Hello, Mr. Cello. It's all right. We can solve it together as chats here. If John has an idea, we'll hear John out. Interesting. Okay, so Maintain a counter for total amount subtracted. Increment every time there's a unique element in the sorted list. Interesting. So maintain a counter for total amount subtracted and increment it every time there's a unique element in the sorted list. Okay, interesting. So if we have 1, 3, 5, 5, you have 3 unique elements in the list, meaning that you have to make 3 operations to reduce those elements by the minimum number of times that it would change. All right, so basically John is saying that the amount of times a new minimum number is counted the amount of times a new minimum number is counted. That's kind of like what I was doing before, right? But the thing is, it sounds really good. I think there's a couple of edge cases where I just feel like there are. So I just feel like there are. So if we have, so you're counting uniqueness. So you just want to return a set. So you just go like this. You want to say nums equals to, or can we just say nums dot sort, right? And can we say, can we set this? And then can we go length of this, of this? We'll try. Can we go like this? Length of this. No, but I don't want to include zeros though, right? So how can I filter out zeros in the sort method? Does it have that capability in its parameters? I don't think so. I think it just has reversed key. Right. Number of subtractions made, the total amount subtracted used to find the total amount subtracted is used to find the current. So essentially you just have a set of all unique minimums, right? So 1, 3, 5, 5 will reduce down to 1, 3, 5, giving you 3 operations, 1, 3, and 5. Right. Yeah, so if, in that case, sort wouldn't matter because the set, just like that, right? So if we call a set on the nums, right? If we call set on nums, can I say val for val, if val, if val greater than 0, for val in nums, in a list here, set this, call the length on this set, and just return this value. So in the case of the 0, this will give a blank list, set that length 0 output. Oh. We need to say val for val if val greater than 0. Is that where you put it in the list comp? John got it right? John! Mr. Yan! Congrats to Mr. Yan. Came clutch with that idea. All right, so you can just return a one-liner here of you can extract all the zeros out with a list comprehension, return the length of that set, and that's the amount of unique operations you have to make, right? The minimum becomes, you have to count the amount of times the minimum changes. And so that's just the amount of items that are in the set. John from downtown. This was my 78th LeetCode, 77th, 9th. Little one-liner action here. Not bad, not bad. John, you had the idea. I just put it into Word here. I just put it into the code. we did that together, John. Thank you so much. Godly one-liner. Length set, val for val, if val greater than 0. Hey, one-liner! Let's go. All right, this was LeetCode number 2357. Make array 0 by subtracting equal amounts. So John came through with the clutch idea. We went through a lot of different ideas. Like, we're trying to figure out a way to just do it in one loop pass by either summing some values or, you know, figuring out exactly how to do it, maybe sorting, but you don't even have to sort. You just extract all of the zeros out of there, call a set on that list to get all unique values, length that to get the count of unique values, and boom, that's your answer, because that's how many times the minimum updates as you loop and pass this. Also, length set nums plus length 0, oh, list 0 minus 1 outside. Oh, to get rid of the initial 0. Oh, so you base. Oh, I get you what you're saying. So you would initially add. He's saying, so Bizwine has a good idea too here. You could say this, which is pretty neat as well. So you just throw in the 0 at the start, right? You throw in the 0 at the start and then immediately get rid of it, basically. Get rid of the length. So you would automatically account for a 0 in the set, and then you wouldn't even have to do the list comprehension. That's a really smart idea too. Just throw it in there at the start. Why not? It's probably even a little bit faster. Let's see. Oh, they're both 0, 0. Nice. Interesting. The one where I create a list. Oh, well, you are creating a list, right? Yeah, you are creating a list. You're just adding numbers to the list and then adding 0 to it no matter what, and then taking a set length. Oh, gotcha. Interesting. So he's just appending 0 to it no matter what. Even if there's already a 0 on there, it'll add another one, like a third or fourth or fifth 0. Get rid of all but one of them, and then reduce the 0 out of there with this. The count of the 0. Nice. All right, that was our 79th. Let's go for 80 here. Yeah, you might I think that's why we have the memory difference here in terms of this. So yours has a little bit more memory of 32.08, or sorry, 17. I mean, we have the same, but I don't know if this has any, I don't know. It might just be a LeetCode thing. I'm gonna go here and submit this other one without the math though. I had that math in there from before. All right. Cool, let's go ahead and try number our 80th problem here. That was fun. Let me grab a little bit of lemonade real quick. Let me grab a little bit of lemonade. I'll be right back. Hold on one sec. hold on one second. I got reading some text here. Give me a sec. Hold on one second, guys. Let me get some money. All right. Sorry, guys. Having to help out with some utility bills. Or not help out with them. Not get something set up for my girlfriend and her mom. I'm trying to figure out some electricity stuff for them. Give me 1 second. Sorry. 1 second. All right, let's just continue here. I'll deal with that afterwards. I'll deal with it after. We'll deal with it later. Okay, let's see here. What we got? Oh, come on. You're going to give me a sequel problem? Oh, no. Oh, do we do the sequel problem? What do you guys think? Do we do the sequel? Do we try to write it in pandas? I don't know. What do you guys want to do? What do you guys want to do here? For this problem, we will consider a manager and employee who has at least one other employee reporting them. Write a solution to report the IDs and names of all managers, the number of employees who report directly to them, the average age of the rounded integer. Return the result of the table by order employee. Oh gosh. Maybe not. A medium. Given an array of integers, which are temperatures. We need you here, John, so we might not have to do it. Represents the daily temperatures. Return an array answer such that index I is the number of days you have to wait after. Return an array answer such that where an answer at some index is the number of days you have to wait after the ith day to get a warmer temperature. If there's no future day for which it is possible, keep the answer I is equal to 0 instead. So the temperatures here are 73, 4, 5, 1, 6, 9, 72, 63, and 73. So on this one, you have to wait 1 day to get a higher temperature. Okay. So can I use, oh yeah. Interesting. Okay, so if we look at the first value and the second value at the same time on our pass, we can, there's the O of N approach is pretty easy, right? We could easily scan and identify values, right? But I don't want to have to evaluate the entire array for each point moving forward like this, right? We've already looked at all of the values in the future on the first pass. So when I go to reference this one, I've already seen all the future dates, so I don't need to know that. So then do I need like a sliding window or something that would be like, no, because if I do a pass, I've seen all the future days, right? I know what they would be in memory somehow. So when I build the array, I can build an array off of memory of a pass. So I go 73, that maps to, maybe let's use like a map. Okay, let's take 73 as a key. Or let's take the index 0 as the key. And then you can subtract indices, right, to get this values. So let's take 73. 0 index is the key. So if we have a map where we have 0 is our key, and we map 73 to there. 1 is going to be 74. Okay, what does that tell us then? Is if this value well, this goes up by 1. This also goes up by 1. This goes down by 4. Down by 2. Up by 3. Up by 4. Okay, so then what if we track like a sliding window, right? So our window will open on a value, and then we'll extend it until we reach that, and then once we reach it, we shrink the window closed by 1 integer. Okay, so let's try this. Let's say I suck at sliding window. I think this is a sliding window problem. I really am not good at these ones though. So if we have 73, this is going to be our open window. We're going to be open on this value. We're going to iterate until we find a value greater than 73. Okay, we found one at 74. We have 5, 71, 69, 72, 76, and 73. So we're going to be open and we're going to be closed on here. This is where our close is going to be. Okay. So we found a value. So we have answer here, and we're going to map 1 to this index here at I equals to 0, right? Our open is going to move to here, and our close is going to go up 1 as well. We detect, okay, we have a difference here, a positive difference. So we're going to throw that value here. Okay, this moves forward, open becomes here, close becomes here. This is a negative difference, so we need to move our closed value forward. Okay, this is still negative, forward. This is still negative, forward. We found a positive, right? We found a positive here, okay, on our close. So you have to wait 6 minus 2 of 4 days. Okay, so now our open, right, our open would now become here, and then we would reset our close back to here. But I don't want to really reset the close back, because then I'm having to do repeated work evaluating numbers that I've already seen. So if that's the case, interesting. Let's take a peek here. If the temperature is, say, 70 today, then in the future a warmer temperature must either be this or greater. We could remember them all. We could remember when all of them occur next. Okay, so maybe we do need to take a map the indices. If the temperature is, say, 70 today, then in the future a warmer must be either this. We could remember when all of them occur next. We could remember when all of them occur next. We could remember when all of them occur next. So if we keep track of indexes, let's say, index 0 gets mapped to 73. If the values differ, so for key value in the map, if the values, which are the indices, or no, which are the temperatures rather, differ by, no, but we would have to access the next days. Return any arrays days. I did get warmer temperatures. No future day. What if this is possible? Keep answer instead. If we've seen a future day. What is the prefix sum algorithm? Given an array of n sizes, how to find a prefix sum? Is it prefix sum is an array? Is another array of the same size that, such as the Okay, so this just makes an array of equal size and sums as we go. Gotcha. Okay, that's not hard. Okay, so then if we want to apply that here, prefix sum here would be 1, or no, not prefix sum, but I mean, I can definitely write an O of n squared algorithm. There's no, definitely easy pie, but in terms of doing it in one go, I create an array of equal length So we have 30, 40, 50, 60, right? I create an array of equal length with values at 0. I come here, this is going to be 70. That is greater than the previous value. Set this to 1. Now, if I'm here on 70 for prefix sum, I come here. This would be 30, 70, 120. That's 0 because there is nothing there. Now would return. We go through the array. We sort it. Well, sorting it really doesn't help us because, I don't know, does sorting really help us? Because then we lose access to the order of the days, right? And that's key here. The order of the days really matters. Difference of 1, -4, -2. So I'm on this value. I'm looking at this value. I move, keep reference of it. I move forward. Check the difference. Okay, that's fine. That checks out. Right, but I don't want to come to this value and keep moving j forward until I get here. And then finally moving this forward when I've already seen this. So maybe I can create a sub-array, like a tertiary array, that we can concatenate to this array whenever we do this extension. So like if I come across 75 and I start finding negatives where I have days that aren't hotter than 75, well then I keep track of the order at which these occur. So 75 is hotter than 71, so index of 2 would go in front of index of 3. So it'd be 3, 2. Then this would go in the front, so it'd be 4, 3, 2. 4, 3, 5, 2. And then we hit this one on 6. 5, 4, 3, 2. Interesting. Huh. Let's shuffle. I'm doing a hard. Let's see here. No, give me another easy. I don't want to do a medium. No mediums, please. Please spare me. Okay, maximum nested depth of the parentheses. Given a valid parentheses string s, return the nesting depth s. The nesting depth is the maximum number of nested parentheses. Okay. 8 is inside 3 nested parentheses. Open, open, closed, open. Oh, this is pretty easy. So you just have to track open So you open one up, that's 1 for open. You open one up, that's 2 for open. You close one off, that makes open be 3, or sorry, be back to 1. Now open comes up 3, you have a value, bang, 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 and then you close. So you have to, okay, max open. So we have to say max open, and then we're going to say open equals to 0, closed equals to 0. Right, so we're going to say okay, so we're going to say like for char in string in str, right? If char is equals to a open parenthesis, we're going to opened plus equal by 1. If char is equal to a closed parenthesis, we're going to reduce opened by 1, right? Else char is going to be a, a nested character in this case. So we're going to if opened is greater than the max open currently, then we'll set that there. Return from Aruba. I know we need to do that next, so I'll probably have to work on the resume next year after this problem. Okay, if opened is greater than the max opened, right, then we're going to set max opened to that open value. Okay, so this is going to come across the character. This is going to increase open by 1. This is going to set max opened to 1 because it's greater than, because opened is greater than max open, which is currently 0. Max open is 1. Now max open, now this is going to, this stays max open is still 1, so nothing happens. This will hit, but it'll just override the same value. Now we come across this will opened up, max open becomes 2, or open becomes 2. We come across this 2 character. We get this opened is 2, which is greater than max opened, which is 1, and we set max opened. We would set it there for the same thing. We would close open there by 1. Okay, so let's see here. Then can we just return max? Oh, they don't have. You just have to find the maxed. So then on every single pass, we're going to just override elif, and then if open is greater than max open, you set it and return it there at the end. So here you would open, you'd close it, so you'd currently have a max opened of 1. You'd open it, you'd have a max opened of 2 now. So I think that would work. Yes. Let's go. First try, number 80. Let's go. Woo! That one was pretty easy. Nice. Woo, woo, woo! Okay, that one was number 1614. Right. All right. What do you guys think? Is it time to polish up the old resume? Um, should I do it in Markdown or in Google Docs? Hey, Lavelle, how's it going? Thanks for coming in, dude. This is LeetCode. This is kind of a more not advanced, but it's more specialized in algorithms and data structures types of questions and testing, kind of that are more for interview prep and stuff. So, uh, yeah, this is 78 solved. I thought I had 80 solved. What? Oh, I do have 80 solved. Haha. Let's go. Okay. Got Google Doc here. This is bright. Is there dark mode on Google Docs? Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise. Why is this so zoomed out? Can't see anything. What's going on here? Alright, well, let's go ahead and we've got to pull up our website here. Let's get a resume going. I don't really want to do this, but whatever. Um, should we use AI? Should we be smart about it? Do you think we could copy this into AI and be like, hey, could you give me this in resume format? That's what AI is for. Hey, could you translate this into a resume format? This is on my current website and I am trying to convert it into my resume. I think this is what the AI is for, right, you guys? I gotta get rid of these hyphens. ChatGPT loves to hyphenate stuff for some reason. I don't want it to change. Well, it's already kind of like that, so it's just okay. I already have it kind of formatted like so. So let's shrink this down. I don't know why it's help, accessibility, format. Why is my ribbon so small? I started using LeetCode fairly early on to help myself solidify DSA topics. So I read Python, DSA in Python. It's a book, a textbook. I've been reading it, on and off on the stream for a few months now. I've gotten up to chapter 11 in it, and it's been a fairly difficult book. It's very dense, and so I was using the LeetCode to get some more practice and with that as well. Why is it like this? This is so. What is going on? Anyone know why the Google Docs ribbon is like teeny? Um, compact controls, no. View, mode, expand, no. View, Full screen? No. Oh gosh. Accessibility. Preferences. Let's just go here then. Pages. Whatever. They have resumes? Oh, they do. We'll just go blank. Yeah, I did the control plus. It only zooms in this. It doesn't zoom in my ribbon. This ribbon is so small. I really don't know why. Google Docs ribbon tiny. Control command 0. No. Settings. No, just let me try a different browser. Let's go to Chrome. Google Docs. There we go. Okay. Okay, so let's have headers be 15. These be 13. No, let's have these be 17. This be 17. This be 15. This be 13. Okay, and then we'll have this be, what, 12? Right? So then, do I like that? So this is 15, 13, 15, 13. Let's put this at 12. And put this at 15. 13. Lead formulation design, test manufacturing for high sensitive protein, enzymatic and serum based formulations, manually computed in balance, manually computed, manually computing. Manually balancing multidimensional matrix arrays to meet stringent analytical chemical concentration target suites. Developed and pitched a business case. Yep. For automating multi-analyte formulation balancing using linear programming and the simplex method to maximize theoretical across concentration rates. Currently co-developing a project spearheaded development by controls and advanced matrix. Over 20% authored and finalized document SOPs, product variance reports, ECOs, light management and change initiatives. Okay. Well, that's already like a page right there, dude. What's up with the spacing? Why is it so much? Let's see here. Line indents. Single. There you go. So then here we'll put, this is an aerial. Okay. Inventory / bookkeeping. Business operations, of daily business operations. Reduce financial and inventory lifecycle errors by over 50% through validation, logic, and structured data flow. Train and non-technical staff to operate software and continue to provide support. Technical support for issue resolution system maintenance. Open source and client approval server. Pushing issues and will request emerging community driven improvements. A full feature GUI retail management system in Python. Incorporate double entry accounting and automating. Incorporating double entry accounting. Incorporating double entry accounting. This is gonna go here. Oh shoot. Okay, so in Python, incorporating double entry accounting and automating. incorporating and automating financial reporting. By integrating double entry accounting automating annual financial statements by integrating double entry accounting and a user-friendly GUI which more than doubled. Engineered a full-feature retail management system in Python, automating annual financial statements by integrating double entry accounting with a user-friendly GUI. More than doubling the speed of daily business operations. Maybe the custom. Oh, it's obviously custom. I made it. Ding dong. The user-friendly GUI more than doubling the speed of user business operations. Reduce financial and inventory lifecycle errors by over 50% through validation, launch structured data flow via SQLite 3. Train non-technical staff. Open source the project. Line of reversing as project manager for the GitHub repository, overseeing issues. Cool. That looks good. Lead formulation. Lead scientist. Of formulation design / manufacturing. Lead scientist of formulation design / manufacturing. Developed a vision business case for automating multi-analyte matrix software tool, spearheaded development of highly control systems, exceeded business time over 20%. Authored and finalized regulatory documents, including SOPs and corresponding variants, ECOs, led management change initiatives. Okay, that sounds pretty good. I might need to just make this 14, 13. if I take this, let's bring this down. Employment experience. Going to add in a bullet point here. Under this guy, it's going to say fluent. Well, let me go to my old resume on Google Doc and grab a little thing I have out of there. See here. Okay, so then we're gonna go here and put this there. Okay, so fluent in integrated clinical chemistry and immunoassay analyzers, Siemens. Ortho Vitros, Abbott series, Arctic series, Beckman Culture, AU Access series, Brahms Scripter, and Rose Cobas series. That looks good. Fluent on integrated clinical analyzers. Conditional piloting, stress testing, stuff like that. Okay, that's fine. So then let me see here. I'm gonna go to my header. Make this format. Center. Michael David Deming. Say XXX. Email at email. Okay, like so. Let's make this. Hold that. This is still too big. Why is that coming so high up? Heading to 14, 15, 14. Oh, that's a lot of space. You just make this normal text. Bold. 14. 14. This is going to be education, right? Uh, 13 heading 3. B. So then this is heading 3, size 14. Okay, this is normal text, size 12. This is not bold. This is also not bold. And this is not bold. Education. Do I want to have projects, right? I don't know. Is this too long, you guys? Okay, so projects. I need to fix this. I can't, man. Too much stuff. I can't fit experience and projects on one page. There's just no way. There's just no way. I can barely even have any points here. How are you supposed to describe 3 years of employment experience in 2 bullet points? Makes no sense. This isn't a template. I'm just making this as I go here. Let's bring this up. Let's get rid of here. Let's go 14. 13. Now that got brought up like that. There you go. This one. There you go. Well, that's what it is, I guess. I could get rid of that space. This comes up. Why? Maybe I should just build it with HTML. So I don't have to deal with all this word spacing. Spacing. Remove. Format. Spacing. Remove space before. Didn't do it. Maybe I should just take these, replace this one, bold here, bold these items. No, it's fine. I'll keep it like that. We'll just leave that, and I'll bring that up. There we go. Now, go here. Bachelor's. That's 14, 14, 13, 12. So we'll take this, make this 14, 13, 12. Format. Bullets. Ooh. Format. Then just projects on the second page. There we go. All right. Okay. So we've got employment experience here, which looks pretty good. 30 rows closed, software engineer contractor, 2024 to current engineer. This is, what's going on here? Okay. There we go. Oops. Here. There we go. There we go. And honestly. Okay, so then can I take this over? There we go. Down. There we go. Cool. I kind of need a little bit of spacing there, I guess. Right, just so you can see that. I'm gonna put I need a code today. Okay. I'm not gonna put this on there. So let's do this. Domain.com. Okay, that looks good. Email, website, GitHub. Let's make my name bigger. Go. That looks really good. Good suggestion, James. Okay, that looks really good. That looks really good. So I have my projects here, which I don't. Should I just put a link to like projects? Like should I have the project section be here and then just put a link to michaeldeming.com/projects? And then he'll take you here, and then I just need to update this guy. Yeah, see, we're fighting room here. I feel like this stuff is pretty essential though. Like I have to have these kind of descriptors. Like I've really given like, you know, 4 really good bullet points to actually describe some skills that I learned. Like I have to keep these as like, as showcase my like analytical development and formulation manufacturing, right? Now I guess I could get rid of this. That would save up 3 lines for a skills section below the projects. But this also shows, promotion, which is good. So it's interesting. It's interesting. I need to change this. This is 13. This is normal text, bold, 13. is there like different spacing between these two? Single. Huh. Normal text, 12 and 13. 12 and 13. But for some reason, why does it do this? So if I take this and paste it here, now it'll give me it. But if I just go here and just take those, what I said in my website here, right? Let's see, scientist. January 24 to current. Right. I mean, that looks really good. Okay, so let's just do this then. Bachelor of Science, Human Biology with a minor in Chemistry, Utah State University, Logan, Utah. You can access my website. All the points are on here pretty much, but this isn't public. No, not at the moment. Bachelor of Science, that's 13, 12. Bachelor of Science, Human Biology with a minor in Chemistry. If I just have like a skills section at the bottom here. Bullet point. I don't know. It's interesting. They want you to have so much on there, but so little. I think it looks clean though. I haven't formatted it like that at all before. Logan, Utah, December 2021. I don't know. Bars or no bars? Can't decide. Okay, so that's one page. stemming. Maybe I should put like my, like if you want it, you can put it here. I'm probably not going to though. I don't want random people getting my phone number. Right, you could probably put it right there. All right. Sweet. Not too bad. I think that'll at least, you know, I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to. It'll be definitely a trial and error thing here, guys. Seeing what works, what doesn't work. So, 3. It's just kind of weird though. Like, I need to show these projects, but I don't want to add a second page. No, I haven't yet. This is step 1 here, Mr. James. This is step 1. We're getting this converted over here. I do need to make a video for the demo of SpectroSim, and then I need to fix the formatting of these cards, as you can see. But besides that, the only thing is I'm using CSS, not Tailwind. I'm better at Tailwind. I might need to take a Saturday and convert this project into Tailwind. Yeah, I might need to do that. Ugh. I don't want to use raw CSS. Okay, cool. So we've got a resume here, you guys. I mean, I think it looks clean. It just pretty much conveys what is on here. Maybe I'll just put a GitHub section at the bottom. I mean, or like a skills section maybe, like at the very bottom. Not sure. Let's go File, Download, PDF. Let's go to the AI here. Show in Finder. Let's throw this thing in here. What do you think? Already looks strong, clear, concise, technical accounts. I said here a few refinements. Drop the period for consistency. Okay. And I guess we need that. We need to do it. This is 12. This is also 12. We have to do that here too. December 2021. Just running out of room, Mr. Doug. Yeah, right. We need projects or skills at the bottom, but I'm just running out of room. I might have to. Oh, I don't want to go to page 2. It's like such a faux pas. Bold titles of companies, easy skimming. Yeah. Scientist one racks bullets. It's just a header. I don't want to add, whatever. It's just to show growth in the company. Yeah, technical skills. Ah! I don't know, dude. Let's throw it in the Discord. Dude, I don't know. They're pretty concise, man. Like, I guess I could say, pitched a business case for automating multi-analyte matrix forming using linear programming. I guess slash simplex method. I guess we'll just say linear programming to maximize theoretical yield and precision across 10 plus variable analytical concentration arrays. Maximize theoretical yield. We'll say across multi-variable analytical concentration arrays. Currently co-developing a proprietary software tool with the bioinformatics team. Maybe division. Lead scientist for formulation design / manufacturing for highly sensitive enzymatic solutions. Expertise in balancing. Expertise in balancing multidimensional concentration target suites. Spearheaded development of highly complex. I'll say high priority biological controls contributing to MAS. Award-winning production of Thermo Fisher's Advant. Spearhead development of high priority biological controls contributing to MAS Presidential Site Award. Site Award. Exceeded business timelines by over 20%. Fluency. Let's see. With integrated clinical chemistry and immunoanalysis semen. Cobalt series. Dimension, Vitros, Abbott Architect. Access. Crypto and Roche Cobos series. Product lines. Hey man, how's it going, dude? I guess we could get rid of this one. Train non-technical staff to operate the software and continue to provide technical support for issue resolution and system maintenance. This one's more of like not a recruiter bullet point, but more of an actual like developer would be more interested in that, right? But you probably want to see like now. Hey, Miss Gina. See, I have this here as like an indicator of like growth, right? Which helps to kind of show a timeline, but it's not really super necessary. I mean, it'd be worth a shot to see like the difference in hits and bytes we get if we conclude this or not. But, you know, it might not be. Maybe we should also include in here my LinkedIn, right? Let's get that as well. Oh gosh, can I just do Michael.Deming? The cat is scratching up the walls. It doesn't exist. Maybe if can I instead can I say email? Personal, or I'll say website, GitHub, and then we'll say LinkedIn here. And can I make these like insert link? Okay, so if I copy my LinkedIn link, can I go like this? Insert link, paste that there. Yes, okay. So now if we go GitHub, profile, go here, insert link, apply. Apply email here. Oop. Whoops. Flash at all my spam emails. Okay, cool. Okay, so now we have that there. Okay, so we've got. I saved up some more room. So let's take this out of here, go here, put that there. Make this italicized. That looks good. Now let me move this down to the bottom here. I'm going to take this here. How far can this go down? Just to there. That's as far as, okay, so then I'll go projects. Guess we'll remove this. say spectro sim, and do one more chroma plot. And do one more okay. So I'm gonna go here, insert link, spectrosim.com. Insert link, chromaplot.com. And then this is going to be small. This is going to be to the GitHub Small Business Manager community version. Insert link here, apply. Okay. Projects, SpectroSim. I'm going to remove the underlining on this. I think it looks ugly. Okay, so that's 14. And then I guess I'm gonna jump this up to 15. Just have a little bit more distinction here. And then I'm gonna make my name. I think that. Okay. So now I'll go like this and say this is so we just need like one line, right? Douglas, save it for later, maybe you can perform better. Later, Mahan. Thanks for coming in, dude. Okay. So this is going to be I launched this in 2024. No. 2025. So we can't really we need words to go here, right? We have to have words here. So we'll say visualize simulate custom or simulate absorb simulate chemical spectroscopy with tools like absorb sim using PubChem API. I don't know. I'm gonna go like this. Give me a one-liner for my SpectroSim. It's UV absorption spectra using chemical parameters in the PubChem API enabling interactive visual analysis. Simulate UV absorption spectra data using chemical parameters from PubChem API enabling interactive spectrum analysis. With custom with custom cacheling. How about for my chroma plot? That's really good too. Includes stack stuff. Built with Python outlet as a tool to visualize chromatographic data. It's full stack with HTML, CSS, raw. Full stack chromatography built with vanilla JavaScript rendering. Okay. So let's put this up on its own line here. Right, we'll say full stack chromatographic visualizer with Python, fast, API, HTML, CSS, vanilla, and JavaScript to render interactive plots for compound separation analysis. Via retention factor. Retention factors. How much LeetCode have I done? We finished our 80th problem today. How's it going, Justin? Thanks so much for coming in, dude. You guys are new here. If you guys could please sub along, we're at 2360, almost at 2360. We're at 2359. Thank you guys so much for being here. Okay, so the small business manager. Well, I have this one up here, so I don't think I really want to include it. Like, I already am explaining it here, so like having it here is just a waste of space. Should I say like recent projects? So that like it kind of gives the like, or like live projects, or like simulate UV absorption spectra using chemical parameters from the PubChem API with custom caching, enabling interactive spectral full stack. So it's going to be a full stack UV vis absorption spectra simulator using chemical properties from PubChem API with custom caching enabling interactive analysis. Full stack chromochromatic visualizer built in Python. Let's add stack to this. Let's add stack to this of Tailwind, React, JavaScript, Fast API, Python, a full stack UV visibility using. That sounds good. Okay. That looks really nice for one page. We've really condensed it down to the meat and potatoes here. I don't think is magna cum laude italicized. I don't know how to spell that. Yeah. Latin phrase. What do you guys think? I think it looks really good so far. I'm going to download PDF and open this up. Let me bin this guy. Rename. Okay, now let's go and throw this in the Discord. The updated version. Alright, if you guys want access to the resume, you can get it in the Discord here. Yeah, it should be fairly straightforward. So this goes to website, GitHub, LinkedIn, and my email. I think that looks clean, man. 15 on that, 15 on that, 15 on that. I think it looks really good. What do you all think? You guys like it? Hey, big task. Hope that's going dynamic. I like that. How's it going, man? Welcome in. Thanks so much for coming in. I haven't read your name before, I don't think, on chat. Thanks so much for joining me here. Welcome. My name is Michael. I'm 26 years old. I've been teaching myself how to code, mainly in Python, but learning more computer science topics for the past about 6 months, or not 6 months, about a year now. We are currently getting ready to start, applying for some dev jobs. I have a degree in human biology and a minor in chemistry, and I work as a formulation chemist right now. Currently trying to test out the waters of potentially making a transition into becoming a developer and using my current skills in Python and Fast API, React, Tailwind, CSS, data analysis, biological molecular analysis, all that kind of stuff. Kind of hoping to leverage that into a position as a developer for some company that would give us a shot. Now we're currently trying to we put together an updated resume here. We really condensed down our website here, providing the necessary details, giving links from not only our name but our email, website, GitHub, and LinkedIn. So that covers all of the community aspects that we wanted to provide. I'm not going to put the YouTube or the Discord on here, uh, but and then we have two of our most recent projects. I probably could. How much room do I have? Only one line. So I really don't have that much room to throw on another project. I'd have to like condense off one of these bullet points. Maybe probably this guy here. Um, Something like that. Right? And so, but we have just our Spectra Sim project, a full stack UV Viz absorption spectra simulator built with React, Vite, Tailwind, and Python. So let's make some bolds here. React, Vite, Tailwind, CSS, Python, Fast API, custom caching, full stack built with Python, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to render interactive retention factors. Yeah, the unfortunately a big task. The difficult part with the biotech industry, especially in the it's oh, you like it? Nice. So these are our sites, right? That we have. So the only thing that's bad about the site is that render.com takes forever to give you your first response back because of the spin down time. It's brutal. So what I might do is I might auto I might auto have a request happen on load so that it wakes up the server as soon as you load the page. Like it sends a request right away. So by the time that you navigate to the simulator section, you will be able to just insert your request. Now, this is just like brutal. Like how do they expect their customers, even on the free tier? I know it's the free tier, right? But how do they expect their customers to even like use this? Like the free tier isn't even usable. Like this has been 25 seconds, 30 seconds, 35 seconds. Like this is going on like 45 seconds of search here. It's not my algorithm. It's the server. Watch, you'll see. It'll come up. This is like I'm going on like a minute now. Like there it is. See, it's brutal. It's just brutal. But it's fast because I'm generating my plots and stuff, and then it's just that first one. See, look, if I do benzene, boom, it's instant. It's just that first one. So I'm worried that I'm worried that a recruiter might try it out and get stuck in that first search and bow out, which really sucks because it's not my code. It's not my code. It's the host of the it's render.com. It kind of sucks. I could do like, aspirin. Boom, instant. It's fast. It's really fast. I'm loading I've really optimized the packages that are being sent from the back end to the front end and being served, and I have a lot of the plot rendering happening on the front end. So that's why it's fast. Biochemists aren't allowed to learn Python. Oh, come on. Give me a shot. Give me a shot, big task. But I was saying, anyways, that, yeah, I'm doing kind of more complex stuff, though, but it's the. It's not all about that, but when it comes down to like a lot of hours of work, you want to be, compensated fairly for the work that you're doing, especially the level of work that you're doing in the advanced levels. computing chemical matrices by hand, where if you mess up, you can't go back. It has quite a lot of risk associated with it, a lot of skill associated with it, but there isn't a good reflection of compensation, we'll say, within the current biotech industry. You'll find that's a very common trend that it's really unfortunate that biotech is pretty much forced to be in these condensed tech locations, these like prime like hotspots in certain parts of the world, and but the funding and uh, progression and research and innovation is not near as vast as tech itself, just because biotech has the red tape associated with biological testing and processing and stuff like that, FDA, and so there's so much more red tape and cost associated with it. The trickle down is brutal to the kind of the ground floor worker. So um, that being said, I just feel there's a lot more opportunities to take my skills within this industry, merge them into programming where there is better compensation for the work, for the education, for the skills actually being used, and then provide them where it's better fit. But again, that's just a small piece of it. A majority of it is that I just like to program, right? I I wouldn't have been spending every day coding for the past year if I didn't like it somewhat, right? So I really enjoy doing it, and so if I got a good fair compensation to be able to build, and plus it's really cool to be able to, I think, to be able to build like a product like yeah, it like what if you're building, like, let's say you work for Robinhood or whatever, and you're building the app that the customers are using, like you're directly contributing to like a real world solution that helps people make money, or invest or do something. Like I guess my products that I do have a lot of downstream patient benefit, but it is so like far downstream that it's very hard to visualize or receive kind of that personal gratification of like accomplishment and helping somebody else, and creating like a product like you would with tech. Like I release my controls, and those don't actually hit the shelves of like some hospital or whatnot for maybe like a year or two down the line, because it has to go through like all these quality control testing and various FDA approvals and all this kind of red tape. And so by the time that you that it actually has any real world benefit, you've already forgotten about it a year and a half ago. Like it's gone. Like it's just that you moved on to like the next quarter's stuff, the next 3 quarters from now's projections. It's not a ton of like personal gratification like or that you get. It's much more strung out and much more, and there's a lot of like politics with management and things like that, and it's just like anywhere. But yeah, it's mainly about the code though. Anyways, you guys, depending on the company, you might experience the same feeling. Your product might not even be customer facing. That's true too, right? It's definitely true for all cases. But it'd be kind of cool, I guess, to like you know I mean, what working on like the Google search engine, but like you work for Google, and like that is like a product that they offer that's like such a detrimental part of people's lives nowadays, right? Like not everybody uses my controls. Like yes, it does like help, save some patient, not like save patient. I don't think it really does all that stuff, but it helps provide patient care and things like that. Um, it's just interesting. But what I was saying is that like 90% of the world uses like Google, right? It's just like it's such a larger reach, and like I don't know. I kind of just it's just an idea, and I think I just have the personality where I just kind of like to do things. Honestly, I just like to do a lot of different things. I don't like doing the same things, and so I have a lot of different types of skill. Like I play guitar, I code, I do chemistry, I'm pretty good at finances and trading and stuff like that. And and so it's, I don't know, I just kind of do a lot of different stuff. What do you guys like to do if you guys are in here? Let me know what you guys are interested in and what your experiences are. Are you guys looking for jobs right now, putting together resumes? This is what I was able to come up with here in the past about hour or so. We put about an hour of work kind of templating this up and polishing it up to about one page, and I think it looks really, really good so far. Um, I'd be comfortable sending this to a recruiter. What do you guys think? Anything I should add? On here, I think I need to add a note here that explains the spin down time, right? So I think I'm going to add a small little line note here that says, hey, this server is hosted on render.com, which has a spin down. If you are like the first search in a while, please allow 30 seconds, 30 to 60 seconds for a response. Like, I'm sorry, like it's just a free tier, you know. Um, what are my thoughts on the AI? A lot of people ask me this. It's hard, it's really difficult for me to provide an answer because I don't have a lot of experience. I don't even really, I use the AI very frequently to learn and teach me, but I don't use it to code. Now I know that it does and can code, but that doesn't benefit me at all. Like I strictly will tell it to like, use English words, don't show me code, explain things in pseudocode, and so I can write the code myself. That's a huge part of my channel is using the AI to teach myself and as kind of as my TA. And TA would never cheat and give you the answer, so I treat it that same way. Um, but in my opinion, I don't know. A lot of developers that are more advanced than me, they say that it should be able to create like full stack apps within like a year. Um, it just seems really difficult to be able to visualize Randy Rando managing and controlling a full stack application with zero code background when I can't even do that after a year of grinding every single day and studying. Um, right? Like how, and I don't even then have all of the knowledge of the concepts needed, like the work, the flow between more advanced databases, like and user authentication and all that kind of more and like more advanced things like that. And I just don't see how someone that just has an idea that is like let's say just like a basketball player or like or whatever that wants to make a basketball app like a sports betting app or something, how are they going to be able to put all that together? Yeah, the AI might be able to do it for them at the front, but it just seems like I don't know, just like a disaster waiting to happen. Kind of just like not like a Ponzi scheme, but like I don't know, like ultimate imposter syndrome. It's interesting. Yeah, that's what I've been doing to learn big task is reading books and then if I have questions I'll break it down with the AI. But yeah, exactly. So like I'll just I'll use if something gets too dense, just have the AI be able to kind of break things down into more um, mm, more like elementary kind of terminology is really really helpful. That's something that I've been doing. All right, you guys. I think I'm gonna call it here for today. We streamed for 3 hours today. It was a really, really good get back into it stream. I took the weekend off. I went up to a lake a couple hours away. So I was doing a lot of driving this weekend. It was just a short trip. So I went up on Saturday, and came back on Sunday. Me and my girlfriend, we slept in my Prius Saturday night in a hotel parking lot. Um, I did not anticipate the Prius being as small as it was. That was my bad. It was pretty cramped. Me, my dog, and my girlfriend in the back of the Prius. We used to car camp in the back of her RAV4 and then her Subaru Forester, but that, as you know, got stolen, and then she got like a plug-in hybrid, little just normal, not an SUV, but just a little sedan. And so the Prius is the biggest thing I got for car camping. So I was like, oh, let's give it a shot. And man, it was tight. Let me tell you, it was cramped in there. But the Prius does have the climate control off the battery, so I was able to run the AC all night and use just like a couple bucks of gas. It was really nice. Um, and yeah, and so that was really fun, but it was great to get my batteries recharged and get going ahead. So this week we're going to be starting to apply for some jobs here. We're going to be potentially adding more simulators to our project, SpectroSim, adding some additional simulators for maybe like IR spectroscopy or, you know, all different types of different simulations we could do. We could do like black body radiation simulation, all those kinds of things. We could do. Uh, I'm also going to post either tonight or tomorrow. I'm going to make the registration for the Wackathon. So if you're wanting to participate in a group project, I'm wanting to get together a group of people on the channel and in the Discord where we come up with an idea and actually work together to build a project over the course of a few weeks called the Wackathon. So if you're wanting to be a part of that, please join the Discord link down below, and in that section, be on the lookout for the registration. I'm only gonna have it open for maybe like a handful of people to start off small with like a smaller group, and then maybe expand it out from there. I really don't know how that's gonna go. I'm a little bit nervous. I don't know how my project management skills are gonna be and whatnot, but it'll be fun just to learn and try it out and build something with you guys. What else do I have to talk about? I think let's go ahead and really quickly. Hmm, no, I don't have anything really. All right, guys, I think that's gonna be it for me. So I stream every single day around 7 p.m. PST. My name is Michael. I have a degree in human biology and a minor in chemistry, and I work as a formulation chemist for a biotech company. But I've been teaching myself programming every single day. If you guys enjoy the stream, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll be back tomorrow where I stream, like I said, every day, teaching myself how to code and whatnot. So I'll see you guys back.